I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we're
Sisters in Ebert.
Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
We're here again. And it is a Summer of Movies Monday. Bing.
So this will be subject to our squirrel rating.
Mm-hmm.
New prop!
We have props now. So, if you haven't watched one of our videos before,
Or you're new to the channel, or you haven't seen a Summer of Movies one.
That's true. That's a good point because there are several.
There are several that are not.
This is our personal rating that we created because there was one summer where our dad showed us
It got pulled.
So many movies.
It got pulled into 2 summers and winters and everything like that. But it started out as one epic summer of movies.
Yes. So as we were watching the movies, if we would get a little bored, a little uncomfortable,
if things were a little risque and awkward to watch with your parents,
we would divert our attention from the TV here to the glass sliding door to the backyard where all the squirrels and birds were frolicking. And we would watch the squirrels living their life instead of the movie that Dad had chosen to show us.
The higher the squirrel number, the lower the movie we like.
We did not enjoy it then. Yes.
But if it's a low squirrel rating, that means...
That's good. We weren't watching the squirrels.
No, we were watching the movie.
So this is one, a comedy classic.
Yes.
Back to School.
1986.
It's back to school time already. Summer's over.
It went so fast.
It did. It always does.
I'm not ready.
Well, here we are.
I
Get
know.
ready. It's back to school.
It's coming quick. Okay. So this movie was from 1986. Rodney Dangerfield.
Same age as you.
Yeah. We're both 38. Rodney Dangerfield is the lead. It opens in New York City, 1940. The kid from Wonder Years, the older brother, Wayne, I think he was in the show, his father's upset over a bad report card. He's a Maloney. He needs an education. So there's a ton of black and white pictures of working class New York City in the 1940s with Rodney Dangerfield photoshopped in to all them. Like,
yes.
And they're all as Thornton Mellon's Tall and Fat franchise grows, all the way up to the present with the Caddyshack still.
Yes, there's him golfing, and it's taken directly from the movie Caddyshack.
So he's changed his name from Maloney to Mellon, and he owns a chain of stores, Tall and Fat. It's for plus size people. I can get behind that. So we go to a commercial for Tall and Fat. When you jog, do you leave potholes? When you make love, do you have to give directions? When you go to the zoo, do elephants throw you peanuts? Do you look at a menu and say, okay?
That's my favorite part. Okay.
Well, then we've got the clothes for you. So he gets in the limo and he asks his driver if he looks fat in his new ad. And the driver saying, you could lose a few pounds. And he said, you got to get bigger actors. So he looks skinnier.
The whole thing is like, you need to hang out with fat people.
So you'll look skinnier. Which she's not wrong.
I mean,
look at Shelly. She hangs out with me all the time. I know what I am, Shelly.
I know.
More so now.
And I accept it.
More so now. So, the fun too. The driver is Mickey, or not Mickey. Polly from Rocky movies.
Yes, he purposely kept the same
haircut and everything.
No, the persona.
Okay.
When he did Rocky.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just thought that was maybe him.
I mean, it probably is a little bit of him. Yeah. But
well, this came out after Rocky.
Did it?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Much after. Rocky was 70s.
Oh yeah, you're right. But he kept the style.
Yeah, Sly Stallone's already a big actor.
Yes, that's true. Okay, sorry, my bad.
She's getting confused.
I wasn't born yet.
These young kids.
Me a break.
So everyone is picking out at the board meeting. All the employees, food all over the table. There's a new toy idea: Melon Patch Kids, fat abandoned Cabbage Patch Kids.
Okay, so this would never get made today. It would be shut down so fast. Cancel culture would sniff this out.
But that's what makes it so
funny. I know, it's so funny.
And people like me, embrace this.
Yes.
We're being seen, Shelly.
Point, you gotta own it. Yeah.
This and hairspray with Mr. Pinky's plus size, whatever. Okay. So his son calls from Mr. Mellon's son calls from college. He doesn't Thornton Mellon, sorry, his son. That's not the son's name. That's Rodney Dangerfield. Is Thornton Mellon. I realized I was like saying butchering the way.
There's a lot of names coming out. Thornton Mellon.
Yeah.
Rodney.
Thornton Mellon, Rodney Dangerfield. His son calls from college. He doesn't want to come home. He's uncomfortable with his stepmom. Dad thinks he is diving in college, but he's just the towel boy.
Yes.
So they think that he's on the diving team.
Yes.
Yeah. He's having a 5-year anniversary party with his new wife, who is mean. She's awful.
She's terrible.
And the new wife is cheating at the anniversary party with everyone around. Wants a divorce, and Thornton already has papers drawn up. She wants to clean him out, though, but he has Polaroids of her cheating. So
yes,
good luck.
He's got his blackmail.
Yes. He's going to college to see his son now that he's free because she's left. They have this big blow up at the anniversary party, and she leaves.
It's all like her friends.
Yeah.
He's all uncomfortable.
She's decorated the whole house. It's not his style at all. It's nothing that says him at all.
They all have the like fancy food and fancy everything.
Yep.
He cracks a Miller Lite, which he had a contract with Miller Lite at the time, like he was in commercials, and so he had to have that beer
placement
in the movie.
So, and he gets yelled at for cracking that because that's not on the approved menu, sir. And so he's going to college now to see his son now that he's free. He goes into a frat house, but was really a sorority, and walked into the shower.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Looks again.
He's greasing cops on the way out, even though they already let him go. Because he's just like, oh, it was an accident. I was looking for my kid. Because he thinks the son's in a fraternity and that he's on the diving team, and he's
having this great college experience.
Man of campus, yeah. He finds son in the dorm with his roommate Derek, Robert Downey Jr., and he lied to Dad about being in the frat. And Thornton says, don't lie to him, lie to girls. The kid wants to drop out, and I didn't put his name. Did you get his name? I keep writing kid. Oh. I think I do later, but it's much down the line.
No, I don't remember.
I still hadn't gotten his name at this point. So Thornton is talking him out of dropping out, and he says that he'll do college with his son if the son stays in school. So he talks to the dean, Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, yes. They did on purpose.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes.
And Thornton donates a school of business administration building to be allowed into the school due to not having graduated high school.
The whole building. That'll get me in. And it worked.
The dean of business school doesn't want Thornton in, but Dean Martin assures him it was a really big check. So everyone is signing up for courses. It's the first day of classes, and it was sign up in advance on the computer.
Yes.
So everybody's like,
you're there
you're
at
going
a table, writing your
table
name
to
down.
table,
Yes.
hoping it's not full yet.
Yes.
And Derek is upset because he can't take all dead languages. Like there've been full, there's some full, and there's some that they're shutting because they don't have enough people. And Derek won't let him cut the line. Oh wait, hang on. We didn't get there. I skipped my line. I'm sorry. Jason.
Okay,
Jason
it's ringing a bell now. Yep.
Meets Valerie. Okay. And then William Zabka is the bully. Again, I put, Jack from European Vacation and the Karate Kid, who most people...
He said that in this movie he realized he was being typecasted as a villain. Like it was starting.
It took him that long?
Well, this was when it truly clicked that he was going to be the villain.
Yeah, because I put William Zabka's the bully again, and Derek won't let him cut line. That's
he's preventing him from coming in the line.
Yep.
With Valerie, right?
Yep. Yeah. So suddenly, all the kids that are getting classes rush outside where Thornton's driver is holding up a sign that says Bruce Springsteen.
Of course, this was a ploy to clear out the gymnasium.
So that so that they could get the classes that they wanted. He's like,
Pretty
"Wait, is
brilliant.
Bruce really here? I don't know, lady. I just got told here to pick
To
him up.
stand here."
Yeah, to stand here." Rodney is on a spending spree in the school store. There's a female professor there who is intrigued as he buys stuff for everyone. And Thornton has a culture shock, having to rearrange his life around his classes. Like he has to get up for classes. He can't.
You can't miss these.
Or reschedule them for after lunch or whatever. Thornton is objecting to how the professor teaches building a business, and Jason warns him to lay off the professor or he'll flunk him. Flunk me, flunk him. Next class has Sam Kinison as the teacher, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And he's playing a jaded Vietnam vet. Kinison likes Thornton's answers, and Thornton is shook up because he's Sam Kinison, so he's screaming and
He's screaming. So they had considered Bob Saget
I love
Jim Carrey for this role, and they thought he was too young.
Yeah, he is.
And Bob Saget wasn't tough enough.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
That's where Rodney said, "How about this?"
Yeah, because this was pre-Full House.
Yes.
But he saw that kind of clean cut.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey would have been a child at this point.
Yeah, he was young.
He was just like in Living Color, maybe not even yet.
So that's where it didn't make sense for him to be the professor.
So I'm glad they got Sam Kinison. He was fantastic.
And in this part, you can see Rodney laughing at one point. Like they couldn't get a take where he wasn't, so they just had to leave it in at one point. They were like, "It's the best we can do." It's like a faraway shot at least, but you see him like smirking.
So the next class is with the female professor from the bookstore. Thornton's in love.
It gets a little spicy in this part. Yeah. She's reading from Ulysses.
Poetry? Yeah, I think.
I don't remember what it was, but she's reading something a little spicy, and he's...
Well, old literature spicy.
Well, spicy.
But get. Professor already is seeing... she's already seeing the jerky business
professor.
Dean. Like he's like the dean of the business school though.
Yeah,
so he's like he's like the head of that.
Yeah, they're dating.
Yeah, where I'm seeing someone. Well, you see someone else. Yeah. Thornton tells her to call him sometime because she says she can't. She has class, and she can't. She has class like that this date and this day. And he's like, well, call me sometime when you got no class. And the dean of business asks her to form a merger with him, and she declines. That's who she's choosing for now. Okay. So Thornton and Jason are both into diving for whatever, the most obscure sport we could pick.
Rodney Dangerfield
was a diver.
Okay.
That
for
would
many
be like,
years.
If we made a movie, we would probably do shot, point, and discus.
Yes. Yes. And we'd be like, odd thing to choose.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's why, so there's lots of him actually swimming and diving because he enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Thornton said he opened up for the diving horse as a kid at Steel Pier in Atlantic City,
which is true except for the horse. Like he did work there for a little bit, but like it talks about diving horses and stuff, and that was gone before he was there. Okay,
because I know the diving horses were
It was a thing in Atlantic City, yes, but not in Rodney Dangerfield's time.
So Thornton gets the coach to pay attention to Jason diving and sees that he's good, because I guess he probably choked like when he had originally tried out for the team.
Yeah.
Jason is getting in good with Valerie. Thornton and driver Lou are mingling at bars with the girls. Derek is messed with the jocks, and they try to go after him at the bar, but Thornton and Lou intervene, and then Thornton gets the female professor to tutor him and didn't read any classic books but saw the movies.
I mean, get you there.
Yeah. I read a lot of Spark Notes in college. I'll be honest.
For Spark Notes.
Yeah. Okay. He gets the professor to go to dinner with him and commiserate over difficulty finding love, because obviously his marriage just broke up. And
that's his one of several marriages.
It's multiple at least.
Something like that.
Jason informed... Rodney takes the professor home and kisses her. Philip is the dean of the business school. Yep, and he sees them together in his little weasel car. Like an old looking car, but like fancy. Like
classy.
Obviously, it was probably like, was it a Rolls? I don't think it was even.
I didn't pay attention that much.
Jason informs Thornton that he has midterms tomorrow and he needs to study, and Jason made the diving team. So,
I feel like time is passing quickly here. We're already at midterms.
I'm
like
sorry.
This...
Yeah.
No, I just mean in general in the movie. Like it was like, oh, all of a sudden.
I was like, I couldn't really go too much deeper.
No. Not you.
Okay.
The movie itself was humming along.
Yeah. So Thornton, has papers due on many famous figures, and he gets the real people to come and help him do it. Like, he pays the real people to do it and to write about their life. And Thornton screws up monkey research at the lab, maybe?
There was like an animal scene.
Yeah, and he sends the secretary. That was his student job or something, wasn't it? Or like he was getting extra credit. Something with it, yeah. So he sends the secretary to class to take his notes for him, like the same.
Oh,
and it's the same secretary as in Ferris Bueller.
And that movie came out on the same day as this one. They were released the same day.
Oh man, yeah. And so it's his personal secretary from his business, and he sends her to take notes because she's taking shorthand.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's that noise?"
Oh yeah, she's there.
Yeah.
Stenographer.
Yeah. Like in a courtroom,
Yes, a stenographer.
So he has his team writing papers for him and tries to have them do Jason's papers too, but he refuses because he wants to learn and he feels Dad only ever tries to get out of working. Which he does, but I mean, he's got a pretty sweet life, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
I think he obviously worked to a point to get to that
here, point.
So.
Exactly. Jason is now on the swim team or the diving team, and everyone at the diving meet is there. Or everyone's at the diving meet to cheer him on, including Derek and his dad and the female professor. And Jason wishes Chaz, who is William Zabka's character, luck. But Chaz assumes that Jason's dad bought his way onto the team, and Jason chokes at his dive because he got in his head.
Mm-hmm. He really is a villain.
He's the Karate Kid. Everyone invited to Thornton's party at his dorm, I guess.
Yeah,
he wasn't at a frat.
Like he jazzed it up.
Yeah,
he made
it was like a
took
bachelor
out,
pad.
Yeah, like took out walls.
It was like a condo.
A condo in the dorm.
Yeah. But Valerie and the female professor have dates that night, so they won't be there. Yeah. Everyone skipped the frat party of the year to go to Thornton's dorm party, and the cops arrive to the party with more beer. As Philip thinks that they're, about to shut it down, he sees them coming, and here they're just carrying cases of beer into the party. Diane arrives to find Thornton in... Okay, so Diane's the female professor.
Okay, I was going to say, who's Diane?
Yeah, to find Thornton in the dorm room hot tub, with 4 undergrads.
Mm-hmm. And now, Miss, I'm out on a date.
Yeah.
Now you can be jealous?
Yeah. When he... Yeah.
No.
Yep. So you can't have it both ways, lady. Sorry.
Nope.
Jason is drunk and he throws a fit and he punches Chaz. Not the best idea.
Yeah.
Jason is frustrated. He wants to do things on his own and not feel like he has them because of his dad. Which I get that a little bit, but then do them. Don't be such a little wiener kid. Well, he was kind of a pushover before his dad showed up.
Yeah, like he was doing nothing with his life.
He wasn't standing up for himself.
He wasn't
taking any steps to better himself. Thornton failed his midterm on Kurt Vonnegut, or Vonnegut? I don't know how you pronounce it. Kurt Vonnegut, written by Kurt Vonnegut, because it was somebody else's work, and they still didn't know and they didn't know the first thing about Kurt Vonnegut. It was
written by himself.
So Thornton sweet talks the dean and avoids expulsion due to academic fraud. Because they said, he cheated. He had somebody else write his paper. And he must do an oral exam instead. But he decides to leave. So eventually, Jason talks Thornton into staying. He decides to stay with Jason's help and crams for all the oral exams in like one day.
Impossible.
Yeah. He's falling asleep during the exam the next day.
Yes.
And Philip is working to make it very difficult for Thornton. 1 question in 27 parts. He's like, I've only got 1 question in 27 parts. He's like, oh.
That room was the room from Flashdance where she had an audition. So it was
okay.
Yes.
So all are complicated questions too. Like each one's worse than the last.
Yes.
Jason confesses his love for Valerie, who accepts.
Aww.
And Thornton wants to give up the exam due to it being so much at once. But Diane convinces him to keep going, and he gets a second wind. At the diving competitions going on simultaneously.
A lot scheduled on this day.
Yeah. Rob Lowe is heckling the divers on the opposing team. Chaz is still messing with Jason, so Rob Lowe messes with him and blows his dive. Like, doesn't he like blow like a horn, like right when he was diving, like one of those air horns, like
Rob Lowe?
Oh, not Rob Lowe. Oh,
Robert
my God,
Downey
Jr.
I was thinking, I didn't know Rob Lowe was in this
Robert
movie.
Downey Jr. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Iron Man.
Yeah, so he's got like a little mirror.
Yeah.
He's like
Oh,
reflecting
that's
the
what it was.
sun.
It was a mirror.
He did have a horn.
Okay,
too.
yeah.
He had all sorts of little tricks.
Okay, yeah. He had it right in his eyes, like this mirror. This,
On top of the diving board.
Robert Downey Jr. Derek. Because my brain is
mush.
It's mush.
She's gone.
Jason nails. I was reading it too. I'm like, that doesn't sound
That's
right.
not correct.
Jason nails his dive, and Chaz fakes a cramp when the team could win. So Coach calls Thornton in from the crowd, supposedly on substitute roster.
Conveniently.
Yeah. Thornton comes in and does the triple Lindy dive.
Triple Lindy, which is a dish at Moe's Southwest. It's a menu item. The triple Lindy, named after this. I don't know what it all goes into it.
Okay. Like at Moe's, like the Mexican place?
Yeah.
I eat there a lot. I'll have to look for it.
Yeah, maybe it's not all Moe's.
I only ever get the same thing every time. I only ever get the homewrecker burrito. So.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they do name their stuff after stuff because there was like I think that's Seinfeld or something. Like there's a Seinfeld item on the menu too. Okay. So okay, and he wins with the triple Lindy dive. Thornton also passed all exams with all D's and 1A from Diane. So Thornton, as a freshman, delivers the graduation address for some reason.
Well, he was donating the building.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
And tells graduates, it's hard out there. Or move back with your parents and let them worry about it. And he said, I put in parentheses, the housing market caused my generation to listen to that advice. That's millennials.
It's true. We're moving back in.
So yeah, that's pretty much how it ends.
Yeah, it wraps up.
It's a very light movie, very fun.
It's fun.
I have a couple things, like we said, Lou was Polly in Rocky series. William Zabka was Chaz and Johnny Lawrence in Karate Kid. I finally wrote it down because I just always call him the Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
He is the Karate Kid. Were we watching the same movie? He's the Karate Kid. And then Ralph Macchio shows up. And Diane was Miss Finch in Sesame Street, Follow That Bird. Do you remember that movie? Yeah.
I love Follow That
But I
Bird.
swear other things too I put because she looks so familiar. Like but I went through her IMDb and I couldn't find anything that I like really recognized, but I know I've seen her in other things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. She does have a familiar face.
She does. Like, I swear she's been in, like, Charles in Charge or, like, Saved by the Bell or something, you know what I mean? But I didn't see anything. Like, those sitcom-y things.
Okay.
I think she showed up here and there, you know?
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun movie. I enjoyed this one. I didn't... If you watched our Caddyshack video, I did not enjoy Rodney Dangerfield in it. But I enjoyed him in this. It was less overwhelming in this.
Well, maybe because wasn't that like his first like movie?
That was his first movie, yeah.
He probably
and he was a supporting role, so he's singing.
Probably trying to treat it like a stand-up too at that point.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
So
how
like
he treated it.
Yeah. So that's probably why you felt like it was a lot. Cause,
it was like too many zingers coming at me. It was overwhelming. It was a lot of personality.
And you loved him on The Simpsons cameo as Mr. Burns' son.
It looks just like him.
He does.
But yes, I
what was his name as Mr. Burns's?
Oh,
that's gonna bother me. That's gonna bother me.
I'm looking it up right after.
Okay.
But yeah, but so originally, his character was supposed to be poor going back to college.
And
it was Harold Ramis's idea to like make him rich.
Harold Ramis.
And I was like thinking like, well, how else would this movie have gone?
I know, because how would he have gotten in if he hadn't graduated high school?
Right. And
maybe he graduated that. I don't know.
How he would have like got a lot of these scenarios he was in. Like, what would the scenarios have been otherwise?
Yeah, that's exactly, because so much of this was his money and getting things.
It was like a big part of the movie. So, I don't know. But
I didn't, how did you feel about it the first time we watched it?
I don't think I liked it. It was
Squirrely.
squirrely in the beginning.
It was. I had a high squirrel rating for this too.
I think because we didn't understand a lot of it.
We weren't in college yet. We were still young.
I think I was middle school.
I bet you were.
And you were high school, early high school.
Yeah.
So, like, we had no notion
I was maybe
like
16.
What's the college world is like, and then just,
I
don't know. There was some funny lines I remember. Like, we enjoyed parts of it, but then there was a lot that was lost on us. So.
Same. So this had a higher squirrel rating for me as a kid. I love it now.
Yes.
I thought it was really enjoyable. It was nice and light and fun.
I was wondering too if this was a double feature movie, maybe. No?
Like on summer movie.
Did we watch two in a day?
Probably. We were probably
because it was probably like, this is a nice easy one. Like, we'll tack it on to something we already.
He would
watched.
do that sometimes, and we would think we were free, and we weren't, and then I'd be like,
yep. So. Dad would keep us hostage longer. So, yeah, I think this one... Is this groundhog?
No, it's a squirrel.
Okay, I see it now.
You
can't blow it too much.
No.
Actually, it makes it look squirrelier when you blow it. But yeah. It was,
even the tag said it was a squirrel.
Okay. I would say probably 4 squirrels. 5.
Currently? Or
back then.
Oh, that was it?
More?
That's pretty low squirrel rating.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe like 7, 8.
I was going to say like 8 squirrels for mine. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
But now I'd say maybe 1 squirrel.
Yeah, just a slow part here or there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. It was good little lines. And Robert Downey Jr. was hilarious.
He was, because he was like the 80s, like emo looking, like new age, you know.
And he had so many funny little lines.
He did.
And he delivered them so perfectly.
Deadpan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are a Robert Downey Jr. fan and you haven't seen this, go watch.
Go check it out.
Because it's worth it.
This is the origins
so funny.
of him.
Yes. He like made the movie for me.
Was this his first movie?
No, he was on SNL at the time.
Oh. Rodney?
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. was on SNL.
Yes.
I did not know that.
He got fired because he wasn't very good at
being funny
at
like sketch comedy.
Yes. So, but he was actually flying back and forth during filming.
Wow, because he looked really young. Like he was
really
young.
Yeah, it was a brief stint on SNL, but it was during this time.
I never knew that. Don't break that, Sean. You're picking
it.
It's only gonna last for this video.
Yes. But I was also shocked because like this came out, I said, on the same day as Ferris Bueller. This did so much better than Ferris Bueller.
Really?
It was the number 4 movie of the year.
And I had never heard of this before.
I hadn't. Like it's,
when Dad told me.
And like if you say to people now, like, oh, back to school, like I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this
Every
movie.
once in a while it's on TV, like on like
very rarely.
Like, you know, like one of those free movie channels like TNT or something like that. Like But
so I know, I was shocked. And it was the number 2 comedy for the year behind Crocodile.
For the year?
Behind Crocodile Dundee. But it did so much better. Whereas like Ferris Bueller was a sleeper. Like it took a while.
It took a while to get a cult
but this
following.
did well in the box office.
Oh my glory!
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
Was this the one? No, I think I maybe am confusing movies. I'm not going to say it in case it's wrong. No, I think it was. I think they were worried about.
She's doubling down.
I'm doubling down. I might be wrong though. But I think this was one where they were afraid that it was going to flop.
Oh.
And they were pleasantly surprised. Like it kind of saved the year for the studio. I think it was Universal was the studio. I'm almost positive it was this movie.
Asterisk.
It might be wrong, so don't quote. Who are you going to quote it to? They haven't seen the movie.
She's thinking of Jaws.
No. If anything, I'm thinking of Animal House because we're discussing that shortly.
Way to blow it, Shel.
They don't know when.
Because we're known for our, planning ahead. But we love this movie. It's a good one. Rodney's great in it. Again, very young Robert Downey Jr.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Adorable. Yeah, and like I actually should have watched it because I think like Jason was in something else too, like the kid.
He looked familiar,
but I didn't.
But
look
I don't
it up.
know.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's definitely been in something else. Yeah.
But we thank you for joining us this week over another Movie Monday. Please like and subscribe and comment on our YouTube video. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sisters and Ebert. You can conveniently click it right down in our description. There's links to all our social media. And have you heard of this movie?
Have you seen it? Was this part of your childhood? Or are you confused of what we're talking about?
Yeah, tell us what you think. But we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the movies.